Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Let's go through the key events that happened in the stock market last week. So earnings season is in the full power mode right now. And last week I was watching two reports very closely. One of them was ServiceNow and the second one is Intel. Not because I invest in it directly, but because it gives signals for another company I care about, which is AMD. Let's start with ServiceNow. At first glance, the report was strong. Revenue grew around 22% year over year. Subscription revenue also showed solid growth. And their backlog, which is future contracted revenue, increased by roughly 25%. So fundamentally, the business is still growing at a very healthy pace. But despite that, the stock dropped hard, around 18% on the day of earnings. And this is where it gets interesting. The problem was not the past, it was the expectations for the future. The company gave slightly weaker guidance than the market expected. They also lowered their margin outlook a little bit, mainly because they are investing heavily into AI and integrating new acquisitions as well. On top of that, some large deals were delayed, especially in the Middle East due to geopolitical tensions. Important point that it's delayed, not cancelled. But the market does not like uncertainty and it reacts immediately. So now here is something that many people missed. Because the company ServiceNow is one of the top holdings in the iShares Expanded Tech Software ETF or IGV, with roughly around 4% weight in it, it pulled down the entire SaaS sector. So the companies like Salesforce, Adobe, Accenture also sold off. So if you were wondering why many software stocks dropped at the same time, this was a big part of the reason. Now, my personal view. I don't see a structural problem with ServiceNow. The business is still strong. The demand is definitely there. They are actively integrating AI into their products. In fact, they even increased their AI-related revenue expectations from about $1 billion to $1.5 billion. Yes, margins are under some pressure at the moment. Yes, some deals are delayed. But to me, this looks more like a short-term noise rather than a long-term issue. So for now, I see this is as a market reaction to expectations, not to a broken business. And now let's move to the second story, which is Intel and AMD. You probably noticed how strong AMD has been recently. At some point, the stock even pushed above $350. And interestingly, one of the triggers came from Intel's report. Now, most people are focused on AI and GPUs these days, but Intel highlighted something very important. There is a strong demand for CPUs, especially in data centers. And more importantly, they said they are struggling to fully meet the demand. And that's a key signal, because if Intel cannot supply enough CPUs to the market, that demand doesn't just disappear. It goes to competitors. And this is where AMD comes in. AMD is currently a very strong player in data center CPUs. I think it might be leading even in this sector, and in many areas even taking market share from Intel. So what do we have? The strong demand, limited supply from Intel, and a capable competitor ready to fill the gap. Well, hopefully, because the effects will come on May 5th during the earnings call. That's a very bullish setup for AMD in my opinion. And this is one of the reasons why the stock reacted so strongly in the past days. So, in a way, Intel's report became a positive catalyst for AMD. And to sum it up, ServiceNow showed strong results, but the stock dropped because expectations were too high and guidance was slightly weaker. This also dragged down the entire SaaS sector, which creates quite a few opportunities in my opinion. At the same time, Intel revealed strong CPU demand and indirectly confirmed a positive environment for AMD, which is exactly why AMD moved higher to all-time high levels. And this is how the market works. Sometimes it's not about what already happened, it's about what might happen next. And if you understand that, you start seeing opportunities where others only see some volatility. Thanks guys for watching this video, and please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you wish to do so. I'll see you in the next video.